Hello.
Hi.
You don't have... I'm laughing at it because you're just like...
Oh, I have no microphone.
I'm like...
God, can you tell I'm tired?
Yeah, basically. No, we, how have you been? Have you been, wonderful? Were the things decent?
Oh, it was more than decent, buddy.
I mean, I'm setting the expectations low-ish so that when they are better,
Yeah.
it's extra grand.
Yeah. Let's try this drink real fast, and then you pour your whiskey.
Yes.
Because I've noticed in the beginning we spend a lot of time on the drinks, which is good. But it's like, audio-wise, just listening to it is us being like, yes, drink. Sip, sip, sip. Yeah.
It's just Old Forester single barrel.
Oh, it's nice, though.
It's with a whiskey sour. We have some amaretto in it because it was extra strong, and I was like, I'm gonna add some more flavor.
Yeah.
And then this guy is it's from Double Oak Peerless Distilling Company. They so when we were walking around getting to Angel's Envy's distillery, we decided you know what, we happen to be right by it, and we went to and also a friend of mine asked,
No.
I did it.
At least it didn't break this time.
It didn't break this time. We are good. Sorry. Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. I forgot we have all these whiskeys to try.
Yeah. Let me do this because I'm like, I was Snapchatting a friend and was like, oh, we're doing this tour, all that jazz. And he was like, yo, like, if you happen to be, like, by Peerless, you should do their tour or whatever. And we were like, we don't have time, but we're hoping to stop by and to see if they had... He wanted toasted, but I was like, they didn't have that. But they had their double oaked rye, which is what this one is, and the double oaked bourbon. Me and Jake's... He got the bourbon, I got the rye, and we split a half of each bottle. I bought this one.
I'm glad you got the rye.
Yeah,
I'm a good boy. No, I'm a rye guy.
Yeah. No, it's
It's a rye.
It's a rye.
I felt it in my eyes. There's a lot of rhymes going on. I'm sorry.
To me, it's the bourbon was a little hotter. This one kind of slowly gets hot as it's sitting there. It's really good. I'm happy I got this one, but honestly, they were both pretty good. We'll try the next one next week. But yeah, man, it was kind of like, all right, this was it was cool to get that. They had a cat. They had two cats. We didn't see the second because the second is in the back, and the first one's like the front shop cat. He was napping on the counter, or like back counter, and like in the window. We were all like, "Oh my god!" And he didn't. Then he did like a cute stretch.
Aww.
Yeah. So it does hit a little powerful, but it's like,
yeah, it depends on where you swallow from.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, no matter what, it dries out the back of your throat.
Yeah. Bad though.
Yeah.
Honestly, as a taster and swap between these two, pretty damn good.
And I did want to make this whiskey sour because I knew these were stronger. Wow.
17, 18.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Not bad.
Really good, man. Yeah. Proud of us.
But yeah, this is 109 proof. 54.9. So it's not the strongest. This one's 131 whiskey in here, but that's why there's stuff in it.
This is why I don't have a drink when I get home after these.
Yeah.
I did that once. It was a Thursday or something. I got home, like, we filmed early for some reason. I got home and was like, all right, have a couple drinks and, like, vibe. No.
The third one always pushes
Yeah.
the boundary.
It pushes it over the edge, man.
Like, when I go out for cocktails and stuff, I only get a third if it's like, yeah, I'm going to a speakeasy and I've eaten right before, and that's the plan. Or, like, if I'm at, like, a restaurant, like, we've cut it back to just doing one cocktail each at max, really, at this point, unless it's a speakeasy or we're just, you know, crazy drinks kind of idea.
Yeah.
But, like, before we started doing that, I was just doing, like, 2 at max, really. 3 if the third one was like, all right, that's also super intriguing.
Yeah, I would do, for different reasons than you, but similar reasons.
Yeah.
I would do like 2 to 3. And then I'd usually switch to a beer. If I had 3, then I'd, you know, switch to like a pop or something. But what I would do is I would go to a bar, and if they had an old fashioned, I would try it.
Yeah.
Because it was never as good. Then
bad.
it got to a point where I was like, I'm not going to have your old fashioned at any place I go to, so I'm not getting an old fashioned. I'm going to try something weird that you don't normally make.
Yeah.
That sounds interesting. Then it got to a point where I would go somewhere and people knew that I loved your old fashions and didn't get old fashions places, so people would be like, trust me, they got a good old fashioned. It's fucking good. And I'd be like, bet. It's not. I would say that to them. It's not. And they're like, dude, it's so good. They do this, like, they fucking smoke it, and they got this cool thing. And I'm like, yeah, it's not a good old fashioned. And then I would get it and be like, it's okay.
I mean, to be fair, most of the problem is that, like, I pour really good whiskey in our old fashions.
Yeah, but I mean,
Also,
I've
like,
even gone to places like, actually, I will badmouth Eddie V's. Yeah, good food, but fuck you. You know what you did. That's what roommates work there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're quitting. Well, Chrissy's quitting. I don't know if Kai is quitting as of when this episode drops.
Okay.
He's quitting.
I mean, fucking good for them.
Yeah,
I'm sure they don't watch this podcast.
Yeah,
surprise.
Yeah, he's getting a job at a place you and I both really enjoy.
Fuck yeah.
With bees.
What?
The place with the bees and the limoncello. Yeah, which means we're gonna be going there a lot.
I am so excited, bro. All right, but yeah. Anyways,
yeah, I had the smoked old fashioned at Eddie V's, and I've had it a couple times. And the first time was funny because Kai mentioned it. He was like, "Yeah, they have pretty good old fashions here. You should try it." And I was like, "Cool, I will." And the bartender brought it over. They did their fucking smoky thing, whatever, blah blah blah. And they were like, "Yeah, it's, you know, it's pretty fancy." Like, they were talking to me like a regular person. I was there in fucking sweats.
yeah.
And they were like,
Fair.
"Yeah, it's a little fancy for most people, so it's a little pricier, but it's really good." Like, blah blah blah. And they're showing me all the stuff, and I was like,
I have these all the time.
and I looked at the bartender. I was like, "What kind of wood chips you using?" And they were like, "I don't know." And I was like, "Ah, fancy, huh?" The bartender was like, "What do you mean fancy?" I was like, "Man, we've got like 17 different kinds of wood chips we've used."
Yeah. I have the 4 generic actual wood chips, and then I have the 6-piece set that I got from my parents that I have not actually really tapped into.
We should do more.
That's something I should look at them and make a cocktail based on smoking it with the chips.
Yeah, I was thinking also for the guys' night. I was thinking of that today at work. I am 47 minutes from work at home, and I'm 53 minutes away from work here.
All right.
I bring my alarm clock.
We have an extra guest room too,
I'll
so
just bring my alarm clocks.
yeah.
Yeah, we can hang out Saturday. We can actually have like a full-fledged guys' night with some drinks. Not too many because I work in the morning, but a decent amount.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm good with usually, like, again, I'll do 2, max 3, really, if most likely 2, because I'm not going to take the time to make 3.
Yeah. I figured we'll get some nice beers and shit, you know.
I'll just smoke. That's usually my keep in between. That's how I maintain.
We'll get a cigar, and then I can smoke with you, because I don't smoke the Devil's Latisse.
We can do that. We'll get some small ones.
I don't need a cigar.
Okay, that's fine.
I'll get some Trulies. I'll sit out there with the fucking Truly in my hand.
I am fully planning on doing chili cheese dogs.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Because, like,
that means I'm going to make, like, $60 an hour to go shit my pants the next day.
Yeah. Like, I am fully planning to go to Meijer and get the Hormel can of chili, bag of cheese, a bag of buns, and a pack of hot dogs.
Fuck yeah, dude.
And I'm going to be gross, and we're just going to have that with maybe, I don't know, you know what? I'll get some extra potatoes, and I'll do, like, the boiled potatoes I do, and, like, baked in the oven for, like, hour, so they're, like, super crispy and buttery and all that crazy shit.
Fuck yeah.
And then we'll have them next to some, like, every single thing we're eating is processed.
Fuck yeah.
It's gonna be the best.
Dude, I'm so about it.
And then we'll just, like, do our best to make it. Honestly, I think we should.
3 toilets.
We do.
4 toilets.
We do. I think
is the basement one working yet?
I'm gonna be honest, it's not.
So you got 3 toilets.
I have the one. I have the thing to fix it. I just don't put it in.
Saturday.
We can do that.
I'll bring my tools home.
You don't even need tools. It's just that rubber fucking thing. We just gotta put it on.
It's not. Okay, yeah, I know what it is. It's not the gasket underneath. I hate those. Those are gross.
No, just that this top one. It was so old it bowed.
Yeah.
No, honestly, it's like one of those things where I completely forget about it because obviously we don't use it until an event happens and we're an hour out and I'm like, I forgot to do that.
Yeah. What you need to do, what I need to do, is the same thing I've done at several parties.
Just start fixing shit.
Your toilet. I've done it at 3 parties now, man.
Yeah.
Like, and it's because of you. Your toilet in your old guest bathroom.
Yeah.
How the chain was too long. That's the simplest fix ever. If you know how to do that, you just shorten the chain.
Yeah.
I've gone to fucking parties where it's like, oh no, my toilet is like not filling and it's just making that noise. What do I do? And I'm like, I fixed it.
Lengthen the chain.
They're like, dude, you're so drunk. And I'm like, yeah, but I fixed your toilet. Like,
honestly, it's one of those funny things now. Like, yeah, I'm like, being a homeowner, I have learned like I can't actually do home shit. Like doing the deck. I finished the deck.
Yeah, I got to see that before I leave.
Yeah, it was. So I will say, the guy that helped me, his name is Ned. He's a neighbor. He's a pretty wild guy. He's pretty cool. He's 38 and has kids. I think he's like a stay-at-home dad, or at least does something for. I don't know what he does. We didn't really get over. I didn't really talk about it. But we just. Essentially, it was just like I think he's done it before or helped someone with it before. So he was like, yeah, I'll, Melissa posted in the Facebook group when the people fell through, well, this guy's going to, can we find someone to help us? And we'll do it. And he was like, yeah, fuck it. Like, I'll do it or help out or whatever. And he's just doing all kinds of home projects around the neighborhood or wherever he can. And then, yeah, I went, got all the shit, went out there, did it with him, and he was just like, all right, yeah. I essentially, like, it was one of those things, like, once I got all the supplies, I, like, knew exactly what I needed to do. I didn't really need the help. It was just, like, having that guy there to be able to be like, he stay at home, and didn't matter what time I needed him. He was like, all right, yeah, I'll just be there in, like, an hour or whatever, because he was like, I'm picking up my kid. I was like, yeah. And then... I will say I felt bad. Day one, he stepped on a nail.
Yeah.
So there was like the planks. He was at home. I was at work the first day that he was supposed to come over, and we had to replace that one board. There's a board that bowed out at the end, and they're 20-foot boards. So I just bought 2 10-foot boards, and then he was like, "Hey, like, he has a long enough truck that he could squeeze the 20-foot board in there. He's got like whatever, long truck. And I was like, okay. So he went and picked it up at Church's. Does that ring a bell? Church's
Chicken
Industrial? No, or Church's, it's where Zach works.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Yeah. He was, I forgot what it was, but he was like, he went to Menards or somewhere first and they didn't have it. And he was like, all right, fuck it. So he found it there. So I was like, fuck yeah, thank you. And then he came out, took the old board out, and then got the new one ready. And then essentially just kind of like, you just like, all right, well, I'm just going to wait till you get here before we do anything else. I just wanted to at least get the fucking old one out. And then came back, we cut it up, we put it in. It was nice. Got, and I was kind of like, all right, like, honestly, like, I knew how to do all of those things. We get to staining, and he goes down, or the idea of power washing the thing. He remembers, like, oh, yeah, I have a power washer, but I lent it to my neighbor, so out of sight, out of mind kind of thing. He's like, fuck, I forgot that I had that thing. Goes home, finds out his neighbor, he, like, rings the doorbell. Guy answers the ring. He's like, hey, yeah, we're in Gaylord. So he's like, fuck. He goes to Lapeer and just buys a new one because this thing was, like, old and a piece of shit anyways, essentially. And then he's like, he wanted the excuse to get a new one, and he knew of one that was $100 on sale.
Yeah. Shit, I wish I had known that. I would have bought one.
Yeah, so he was like, fuck it. Like, he went up and bought this thing. And then that took like an hour and a half. And that time I scrubbed the deck. He brings the power washer. Just did, 3-4 times the work I would have done scrubbing, like, and all. It was great. But unfortunately, it died on us, like, at the stairs. So I had to wait like an extra day to fucking finish the stairs and power washing and everything else. I had to borrow my mom's. It was a bit wild, but it was fun. Like, I can do it. Like, now that I've done it once, next time it'll be like 3 times as
honestly,
easy.
I got to. We power washed ours, but I need to get a sander. I need to get rid of all the shitty paint.
Yep.
And then power wash it. I don't know if we'll stain it or paint it again. Because honestly, the way they painted the exterior of the house, like, they painted the deck the same color, and then, like, I don't know what to call it, like the step leading into the door, the ledge, painted the same color too. And I'm like, that would be more difficult to, like,
adjust.
Change. So I would want the deck to be the same color, or find a stain that, like, accents it in a way. Yeah. But also, it's up to Chrissy as well too. I would just be like, hey, I'm gonna do this thing for you. What do you want?
Yeah, essentially. Well, I mean, like, as far as sanding, like, that's gonna be.
It's not that bad.
You just gotta rent a good one.
Yeah.
Just go to Home Depot and legit rent the actual sander, and then
Believe me, I know. George and I sanded half of his basement with fucking orbital sanders and fucking like regular sanders that you can use by hand. And we got halfway through and I was like, no, fuck this, get a good sander. And he's like, what is that? And I showed him what it is, and he was like, I didn't know these existed. And then he got one, and like a few months later he's like, I wound up getting a sander and, like, knew exactly what to get. And Andrew was just like, let's use a regular sander. And I was like, that's not how that happened, you piece of shit.
Honestly, like, for me, like, some of the things that I figured out were, like, one, like, when I was you only need to, like, on the directions, it was like, try to use, like, a brush for the smaller sections. And I was like, all right, well, like, I painted, like, one essentially, like, corner of the deck with just the brush, and it took me a full hour.
Yeah, it's stupid.
So what I decided to do was, I had bought 4 of the rollers in case they got fucked up. We couldn't use one. I had to switch to extras, whatever. So I was like, fuck it. I have these 4. I grabbed one. I just dunked, like, one little, essentially the end in, pulled it out, and then just put it up on the railing and just slid the fucking thing across the railing. And honestly, other than, like, the parts where you can visibly see, like, there was little bits of, like, chipping that would rip it up, like, it just slid and did the whole thing perfectly. And I was like, all right, like, that works for me.
Yeah.
And I kind of just did that for the most part. I still have the 2 extra ones. I'm just going to keep them till the next time we do it.
Yeah. Or I'll buy them from you if we do our deck.
Dude, I'll just give them to you. They're fucking...
No. Take my money. I'm not a poor boy anymore. Take my money and then come over and help me for beer.
True. I'll do that.
But I am thinking of doing it. I think I mentioned it on here. When they go up camping, I'm thinking of doing it. I need to ask Chrissy about it because it is her home and everything, and I want to be like, do you want this?
You also got to hope the weather works out. Because
that too.
That was the bigger issue for me, was like, we did the first day, worked out fine. It sucked at the power washer. Well, Saturday, oh yeah, I told you this too. I come home from getting the power washer from my mom's after work on Saturday. I pull in the neighborhood and I'm like, oh, there's a graduation party. Okay, makes sense. Whatever.
Yeah, it's May, June-ish.
I get I chat to my neighbor next to me and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go finish power washing the deck or whatever. And then I go walking down there and I just see like a whole graduation party happening at the house directly behind me. They're playing fucking cornhole, music's going. I'm like, so I just finished walking because I'm already walking down the hill. I set it down and I just like turn around and walk away and walk back in the house and call my wife and I'm like, hey, so they're having a graduation party. And I also looked at the weather first because I was like, all right, I need to make sure like if it's gonna rain for the next like 6 days.
I would have went over there and been like, hey, this is the only time I could do it. I'm sorry.
Exactly. Yeah. I was like, I'm looking for an out to make sure, like, this isn't literally the only time I can do it.
Yeah. And I can also guarantee, like, there would be I don't want to say child. They're graduating from high school. There would be a teenager like you or me that would be like, you want some help? Just because they want to play with the power washer.
I did think about doing that, but then also like I realized even between me and Ned, like there were times where we like, based on the way we just stop, it like left like little lines, and it looks fine. It's like whatever. It's just wood. I don't care. We're not. Yeah. No, none of our friends are gonna give a shit that it's got weird lines in the fucking stain.
I had that a little bit with Kai because he power washed the whole house basically.
Yeah.
And we cleared off the deck finally, got rid of that table, we moved all the plants and stuff, but then I realized that the deck was really dirty, so I was like, hey, I'm gonna power wash the deck because it's disgusting.
And then all the paint starts,
and then everything got up on the side of the house, so I was like, hey, I'm gonna power wash the house. And in my head I'm like, oh well, now the bottom half looks better than the top half, so I'm just gonna do this whole section. And Kai walked up and was like, dude, why did you do that side of the house in like a third of the time that it took me to do the whole house? Like, you're so good at that. Have you ever power washed before? And I was like, nope.
Well, honestly,
I've never used one for anything except for weeds. And he was like, why are you good at that? And I was like, dude, it was fun. Like, I mean, you learn it.
Realistically, not in a like weird way, but like in culinary, like it's not manual labor like we do. Yeah. So there's a bit of like
different kind of
thing. Yeah. And like the way we have to, especially for you, like you actually think differently at work. You have to think about measurements and all kinds of weird shit. Like I just, it's physical muscle manual labor type shit. But like, yeah, for like he's in a kitchen, he doesn't think like that every day. So like you might naturally just be like better at some of those like also you do a lot of household shit. Like I don't know how much household shit he's done.
He's better at the inside stuff. Like
that's fair.
I'm shitty at like. I'm really good at polishing floors, but I'm not very good at sweeping and mopping like day to day.
Oh yeah, no, he's gonna murder everyone in there. Yeah. Again, that like as a kitchen culinary, he is like no one's gonna be cleaner in a house than he is.
Yeah.
So like he's gonna murder everyone there. Yeah. Like so there's like there's
overlapping things. Yeah.
Yeah, there's
like, get him on the grill.
Yeah.
Fucking, like, I can make a bomb-ass burger.
Yeah, he can.
He can make anything. I can
He
make
will
a good
outcook all of
burger
us.
that might beat him, but that's because it's the whole, like, fear of man that practices 10,000 kicks versus one man who practices one kick 10,000 times. I make the burger.
That's it.
That's it.
I can definitely cook. I'm confident in my cooking.
Oh, dude, you're good at cooking.
But I'm not Kai.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, no, like if I very much be like, hey, you can just take my stove, go for it. You're the one guy I'd let like cook.
I want to cook them dinner because I feel bad, but I'm also like, you guys are so good at cooking. Like, I don't want to cook for you.
Well, honestly, my problem is it's naturally it's where I just I've Melissa's talked about it. Like when we started dating, like, and I go to her place and she'd cook dinner, like, I let her cook maybe like twice.
I do that, yeah.
I let her cook like twice. The second one, I helped just a little bit.
Yeah, I do that too.
Third, I just pushed her the fuck out of the kitchen after like 2 or 3 times, and she just learned like, all right, I'm just gonna let him cook, and I always like I still to this day I cook almost every day for the most part. Thank her for I had to thank her for cooking the whole essentially the weekend while I was doing the deck every time.
Yeah,
but
again, it's also I've had Melissa's food too. She's a good cook as well. So it's not us being like, oh, they're a shitty cook, I have to cook. Like,
yeah,
I've dated one girl where I've been like, you are never cooking ever.
Yeah.
And it's not me being like, I'm a better cook than you, or like, I want to cook for you. This girl, I was like, legitimately like, you're not cooking because you suck.
You might set the house on fire.
She had, I've talked about it. She had in her spice rack. Do you know what she had?
What?
Salt. Yeah, that's where the sentence ends.
Okay, who is it? It's on me.
Oh, it's on you?
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull the mic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I know.
What the fuck? Okay.
I know.
I'm not surprised, but
I was until I wasn't, and then I was like, that makes sense.
I hope I switched it away from my face after I started saying it, because I realized I was like, oh shit.
They don't watch this.
They don't know it's far enough.
To.
Yeah, it's whatever. But no, I was like, no, like, I will say, like, yes, I am a better cook than Melissa is.
Yeah, but
like,
she's still,
she's a good cook.
She's
still fucking good, but she's a really good baker.
Oh, yeah.
Phenomenal baker.
Dude, that's the problem I have in my house. Chrissy's a good cook. I'm a good cook. Kai is a fucking chef.
Yes.
Chrissy is a phenomenal baker.
Really good.
I'm there.
Yeah.
And, like, they keep bringing it up. They're like, oh, my God, like, you're doing all the outdoorsy stuff. Like, and the lawn looks incredible. Like, we feel bad, so we made you dinner. I was like, this is our deal.
This is what I bring to the table.
This is what I bring to the table. Your lawn, immaculate. You can see the line dividing us from the neighbors. Yes. And it's not because they didn't mow in a while. It's because our shit is better. But if I were to make you dinner, you'd be like, this is okay. Like,
thanks.
Yeah.
I mean, but also it's one of those things too where, like, sometimes for them it's just like, all right, I don't want to cook again because I cooked all day.
Yeah, but they enjoy it. Like, they fucking yesterday, I'm sure you saw on Chrissy's story, she made this rice bowl. It was like it was leftover brats, leftover hot dogs, leftover bacon, leftover rice, I think, too. Like, it was
the radishes, the pickled radishes.
It was like a clean out the
God.
fridge meal.
Yeah.
And to me, a clean out the fridge meal is like, I'm gonna add some mac and cheese to my ramen.
Yes.
This was like, the hot dog was amazing, and I'm like, it's a fucking hot dog. Why does this taste so good? Like,
yeah, just add whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, I was saying, like, to myself, like, the last week or so, like, I haven't been very inspired to do cocktails, and I realized I was like, oh shit, like, I haven't done, like, I mean, I did the Velvet Elvis, I guess. That's the last one I did, but, like, I I'm not sticking to one a month like I was hoping to do.
It's hard.
It is. I just also been tired, but I did think of a couple I want to do. I was not going to try. Well, unfortunately, the one I came up with you cannot have because it has absinthe in it.
I could have it.
I mean, you can have it. So I'll even say, yeah, far enough. And turmeric. Sorry, not turmeric, curry. Okay. But like a more turmeric-y based curry.
Okay.
Gin, absinthe, and or vodka, and then like lemon juice.
I could see how the flavors would work.
Like I want to start with that first, and then after that I'll add probably one ingredient if I need it, depending how it goes. But like I'll infuse the gin, filter it through. Well, actually, I'll probably infuse gin and vodka because I'm like, all right, I need to figure it out. Like, is the gin too much of a like flavor with the other shit, and it's just like too fucking herbally, or that kind of a thing. But I think it'd be pretty good. And I probably should have some sort of a sugar, but maybe I'll make a turmeric syrup.
I forgot what it's called, but it's basically like it's a hot chocolate, but instead of chocolate, it's turmeric and
I know what you're talking about.
Coconut milk. And it's like a golden yellow. It's fucking delicious.
I will milk punch it.
Yeah, I'll milk punch it.
I'm a coconut milk punch it.
Yeah. I know what that means now. I made a perverted joke, but then I remembered what it means, and that sounds bomb. And I'm sorry for being perverted.
I am immediately going to
type it out, send it.
Yep. Coconut milk.
Honestly, the cocktail always gets better after the taster.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it's so much. It's sweetener.
It's sweeter. Yeah.
No, it's a little diluted, so you'll actually taste the whiskey. Yeah. That's the thing, is these are a little potent, but yeah,
a little. I'm gonna do a very shitty segue. We spent the entire first half of this podcast talking about very dad things, very heteronormative type deal shit, like fixing the deck, fixing the lawn, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about pride.
Oh shit! Yeah, go for it.
But not in the way of like pride, yeah, gay stuff. Do you want to know what I did at Pride?
Oh, what'd you do?
I dressed very gay, of course, like very, very slutty.
Yeah.
Two of my biggest conversations there. One was both were complete strangers that I didn't know, but they knew Kai and or Chrissy, or they knew somebody who knew them type deals.
Yeah.
The first one was we were sitting at a table talking to these people that were there with one of Kai's old friends. And for some reason we were talking about fucking power tools and like landscaping and like edgers and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I'm literally talking about like the straight dad type vibes with this stranger at Pride.
I love that so much.
And it was amazing. And then later, some other people showed up at a bar we were at, and they saw my shirt, which my shirt said y'all means y'all, and all was in rainbow, because, y'all means everybody.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, I see your shirt says y'all, like, we're from Texas. Like, y'all is like a Texas thing. Where are you from? And I was like, oh, I'm from Kansas. And they were like, oh, so like you know a lot about barbecue. And I was like, do I know a lot about barbecue? And then we talked about barbecue, like not in a sense of like, oh yeah, here's a good barbecue place, here's a good barbecue place. It was like Kansas City barbecue is better because the barbecue sauce is tomato based, whereas everywhere else is vinegar based, so you don't get that acidity from the tomato, you get the alkaline of the vinegar and blah blah blah. And it was like pure dad energy. me and this lesbian just going in about barbecue sauce, and I was like,
Yes.
this is the vibe I enjoy. I am wearing fucking the shortest shorts I've ever worn and fishnets talking about barbecue sauce.
My fucking favorite part about that is if there was just some random motherfucking conservative southern motherfucker that was just... If they just talk like that, he'd be like, hold on.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude,
You're
god
onto
damn it.
something.
That's the funniest shit. Like, it really is. Like, yeah, you're like, oh. And like, oh, them like, would they go to Pride and like talk about fucking dick and all that? And then it's like, no, we talked about making barbecue sauce.
Fuck yeah, dude. You know the fucking difference between a tomato base and a vinegar based barbecue sauce? Bet you fucking don't. Pussy. But like the absurdism of it, of like that was the mentality that went through my head.
Yeah,
because like I work in a very conservative area. And
yeah.
Like, even today they were like, "Oh, I can't go to this bar because there's a lot of gays there," and I'm like, on my fucking bag is my keys with a rainbow D&D dice. Like,
yes,
they can teach you shit. Be open to their ways.
Yeah.
Kiss a dude and learn his barbecue recipe. Bet it's better than your dad's.
Possibly.
More than likely. Because your dads are dead. Not yours, but yes, yours.
Look, I'll be honest. I don't think my dad could cook very much. His best dish was mastacholi, and he was a stoner.
A lot of cheese, a lot of sauce, some meat.
Well, like, I guess that would be a question I would have to ask for, like... So we're going to get a little more deep again.
Good.
Well, hold on. Was there any more about Pride you wanted to talk about?
No, it was a good time. I didn't do the same thing I did last year where we came back, partied more, and then I wound up in a random movie producer's house watching people do cocaine this year. I went to bed alone.
Oh.
Well, I had 2 cats with me, so it was chill.
That's the best.
Yeah. I also got to sleep in. I've been working a lot.
That's fair.
It was nice.
Well, no, I'm sorry. No, when my dad passed, like, he had a best friend named Bob. Bob moved, well, essentially, like, he left Bob in control of our money.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a great dude, did all the good shit, just, essentially just filed the taxes for it every single year. And then a couple years, like, about, like, I don't know, like 10 or not 10, Jesus, like 5 or 6 years ago, maybe.
I want to say so, yeah.
Him and his wife, they had some essentially, I'm not going to get to the details because they're his details, but like, she wasn't great. It didn't go good. They divorced. He was like, look, like, essentially you guys are old enough. You're old enough that I've learned you're not shitbags and I can trust you with, like, handling the stuff, and handed it over. And so, like, he moved to Georgia. But, like, I've never actually really just hung out with this dude since my dad passed. And it's been almost, like, fucking 20... It's over 20 years at this point, almost.
Yeah.
No.
You said you were 9.
15. Yeah, I was 9. So it's... 19... Oh, shit.
32.
I am 32. I'm bad at math, man.
It's been over 20 years. It's been 23.
It has been 23 years. So
I'm good at math.
I basically... Oh, no, sorry. Last time I saw him was my graduation party when I was 18. He came to that.
Okay. Sorry. It's been 11 years.
Yes.
I'm bad at
I
math.
feel
Am I bad at
bad.
math? Has
I
it
did
been
not...
11 years?
I don't remember.
Yeah. 11.
11 years. Yes.
Sounds right.
But I feel bad because I just realized I didn't invite him to the wedding, and I probably should have. Because he's a single guy with... He's retired. He's in Georgia, which means he has money. He would have been like, yeah, fuck it. I'll just fly in. And I feel really... Oh, my God. Dude, I feel
bad now.
I feel so much immense guilt right now.
I feel bad.
I guess like he's not gonna think much of it because like I'm bad at contacting, but like I really should be like, hey man, like I want to come out and just like hang out with you and like ask questions about what my dad was like. Because I have a couple stories. Like I have a little bit of his personality. I mean, I've been told essentially I have his fucking personality, and I feel like he'd be like, all right, this is fucking weird. Yeah. But like, I want to be like, all right, well, like, what was his actual favorite color? Because I don't know that.
It was red. Oh, it was blue.
That'd be weird. But here's the thing: is like the tattoo that's on my arm. It's green because I just went with the generic color because for like a lizard, because I was like, well, I don't know what his favorite color was, and my mom couldn't remember because
it's been a while.
Been a very long time at that point. They've been divorced for like a decade.
Drink.
Yeah. So I'm like, all right, well, I don't even so I don't know that. So there's some of those things, like it'd be fun to be like, all right, like what are some stories about like how dumb he was?
I get that.
Like unfortunately the stories I remember are like I definitely won't say the one of them I'll say is like we were driving down the road and I remember seeing we were looking for food. We were supposed to be going somewhere for dinner or for food. And essentially, I ended up pointing out a strip club. Did not know. Obviously, I'm a kid. I did not know it was a strip club. I just saw a bunch of flashy shit. And I was like, we should go there. And
he had good food there.
Yeah. And he was like, well, buddy, we can't go there. And I was like, why not? And he's like, well, children are not allowed there. And I was like, that's weird. Why would kids not be allowed in a restaurant that serves food? And he was like, oh, that's what it was. I think the sign was like essentially some, it was like some food deal bullshit.
25-cent wings on Tuesday.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that sort of thing. And he was like, well, the women in those restaurants walk around topless. And I was just like, I was just like, well, I mean, that's weird. I don't know why they would do that, but like, I mean, why can't we go in there? And he's like, well, he's like, they're adult women, so it's against the law, and that's as far as like he was like motherfucker, stop asking me questions.
It's like I don't have an answer for you.
He was like, at a certain point, he was like, you're gonna get like, I at most I was probably 7, so he was probably like, you need to stop this because you are way too young for me to start getting to these discussions. But like some of those, like there's that he let us ride his motorcycle with him on the freeway when we were kids. But what I mean is like it wasn't really on the freeway. It was in Ferndale because he lived in Ferndale, and it was one of those like there's a bunch of those.
Get off.
Yeah. He literally just basically gunned it to 70 to the exit ramp and then got off right away. And it was one of those like, he looked at Kyle. I went on first because I'm the oldest. He was like, Kyle, he was like, you don't get off the couch. He was like, you just play whatever game. He's like, couch or bathroom. That's all you're doing. And then like, we went out and we were gone for at max 10 minutes, and then came back, same thing. He's like, fucking couch or bathroom, that's all you're doing. And then he's gone 10 minutes. So there's a lot of fun memories there, and some weird ones, but like,
look at this photograph. I'm sorry.
The thing is one of them directly involves Bob, and I don't know if I'll ever tell him this story. We'll probably
tell me off.
Yes, yeah, we'll probably end this in a second, and I'll tell you it, and it's pretty funny.
Well, I have a thing.
Yeah.
So we've been talking about going to meet my dad.
Yeah.
Georgia is my favorite state. Like I would move there in a heartbeat if I had money. Let's go meet your dad. Like legitimate deep moment.
Yeah.
We'll go meet your dad via Bob.
Yeah.
And we'll go meet my dad. via Tony. That's right. That's his name. You weren't looking at me.
No,
Yeah.
I had it on the. We were both kind of having
I
a
pointed
moment.
over here.
I know. I felt bad. I was like, "Fuck!" Like I didn't have it on your camera because I let it be.
Hold on, let's do it again. Tony. Fuck. That's why we call him LT Gray, because Tony the Tiger.
Yeah, that was the joke. We were like, we'll call him that because it's.
Yeah, but it's been 3 years.
It has.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, honestly, like that might be one of those things where like
I should be a better. He left me for 28 years. What's 4 years?
I mean, yeah, there's details. But like honestly, yeah, no, that might be one of those things where like might be like, all right, let's take a road take like a week.
We would have to take a week if we did it. If we did it in one shot, it would have to be a week.
Yeah, because it'd be like 3 days and then 3 days and then come home.
Because
just one long ass day.
Depending on where in Georgia, that's anywhere from 13 to 16 hours from here, and then Georgia to Kansas, I want to say, is another 13 to 16 hours, and then it's 15 hours from Parsons to here. And there's Central Time Zone in Kansas, so 16.
I mean, honestly, that's one of those things where I'm like, all right, like, I wish I had more vacation time.
Same.
Because, like, I'm trying to think, because, like, it would be, like, if we could figure out a good weekend, or, like, if we're able to specifically nail it down to, like, all right, like, we'll tell them, like, give them a rough estimate of, like, when I get my shutdown.
Yeah.
Because then
the other
you might get
thing.
lucky. Is that
because I don't get the shutdown with
you're
my
right.
job, and like your shutdown, like at least from what I've observed, maybe sooner, but from what what I've seen is like you don't really know until like 2 weeks prior, roughly.
So no, for shutdown we technically know like at least a month in advance.
Okay, that's difficult. With mine, like they tell me like, oh, like a month in advance, but it's really like 2-3 months in advance is when you're supposed to give vacation. But I feel like if you got your shutdown and I had enough vacation time to where I could be like, hey, I'm going to put this request in for a week off of work. It's going to sound really weird. Me and my best friend are going to go see his dad's best friend to figure out more about his dad who passed away. And then we're going to go meet my dad, who I've never met. I feel like they would be like, okay, approved.
I mean, here's the thing, too, is you could even go in being like, all right, like beforehand to your boss, just be like, hey, so like, whenever they have their shutdown, that's when we're going to do this because they'll have the time off, explain the situation.
Yeah.
So when I put the time in, I'm going.
Yeah, I feel like, and this is me talking good about where I used to work. I hated where I used to work, but my boss was amazing. If I were still at Hero Tech, like, and I told my boss that situation, immediate approved.
Yeah.
Go whenever you need to go. I'll get it approved. Even if like tomorrow it was like, hey, I'm going tomorrow. He'd be like, bet. I'll get it approved. Go. This job, on the other hand, and maybe it's because I don't know them as well, but I don't think it's because I don't know them as well. I think it's because they're very old school and like work comes before everything else.
Yeah.
This would have to be like, regardless of the situation, it would be like, okay, is it a month ahead?
Yeah.
Even then, what's going on then? Like, I put in vacation for July last month. And they were like, okay, make sure Tom knows we need to schedule this shit, blah, blah, blah. What's going on around that time frame? And I'm like, dude, it's 2 months away.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on around then.
Yeah. But like, I'm telling you, I won't be there.
I won't be here. Like,
yeah.
And like, the direct management I have on my current project, fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Everyone above them is really shitty.
Yeah.
And I get it, like they're looking at big numbers and blah blah blah, but it's like that's a disconnect I don't like, where it's like you're not looking at the people, you're looking at like the numbers, and it's like, come on.
Unfortunately, that's kind of where I'm at. Like, my managers are pretty cool. They'd understand immediately, like, for the most part. And then upper management's like, yeah, like, we don't care. So, no, honestly, that would be one of those things, like, we would have to plan it for one of those things.
Yeah,
and then,
if we were to do both at once, which will be realistic, we probably can't do both at once. I mean, look how hard it is to schedule a fucking boys' night.
I mean, honestly, what I could do is just, like, for Bob, like, I'll just call him, like, when I know, like, for sure, like, it's getting close.
It's better in person, you know.
No.
I'm sorry. I thought
to schedule it.
Yeah, to schedule it.
Just be like, hey, like, I'd love to come, like, because he essentially bought, like, a house, and then there's, like, he has a trailer that he used to have up here that he moved down, and it's just on his property. He maintains it. That's, like, essentially his guest house.
Okay.
On his property. So he's just like, yeah, like, you're welcome anytime. So I'd be like, all right, you know, hey, let me...
That'd be dope, man.
Just call him, like, at least a month in advance. Be like, hey, so, like, me and my best friend, like, I don't know my dad. He never met him. So, like, we want to come down, and I'm going to come hang out, and I'd like to hang out with you for, like, 3 or 4 days. Or, like, 3 days. And, you know, get there as much as possible, or, like, right away. Hang out for those 3 days. Say hi or whatever. Get to know shit, and then
pop over to Parsons.
Say hi.
Yeah, you can meet my dad, and you can meet my grandpa, and maybe some of my cousins. I'm mad at them right now.
So there's part of me that's like, all right, well, we could do like 2 days with him, 2 days with El Tigre.
I figured,
because it's a week.
Yeah, we'd pop over, hang out with them. I don't know how awkward it would be, truthfully. So I wouldn't want to stay at El Tigre's house.
No.
You know? But also, if I were to go to Kansas and not see my grandpa, it was a little fucked up. So we'd at least have to take him to dinner.
So honestly, yeah, it could be one of those things where, like, all right, we stay with Bob for like 2-3 days. Go meet Tony. Say hi to Tony for like a day. If it, plan on maybe 2 days, and if it gets for some reason awkward as fuck, we just, we pivot and we go to your grandparents and family for extra days or whatever it is.
The way I see it is it would be a day and a half.
Yeah.
To go down there and see Tony, and then I'd be like, hey, my grandpa lives down here. He's getting up on age. I don't get to see him very often.
Yeah.
Regardless of the situation of me coming down to see you, who I've never known, and like figure out this relationship, if I don't go have dinner with my grandpa,
it's not cool.
Yeah. So
I'll see you again.
Yeah, I'll see you again for sure.
He's like, I'm assuming that you're not old enough. I'm worried that you won't be here in the next 10 to 15 years.
Yeah.
So like I've a ridiculous amount. We have a ridiculous amount of time.
You're very young, surprisingly.
Yeah, so I'm like, there should be no shot essentially, other than like catastrophic accident.
Yeah.
Like,
he's only 17 years older than me.
I mean, yeah,
he's not even 50.
Yeah, like you got time.
Yeah, knock on wood.
You could have an entire. Yeah. So no, it's like that. It would be interesting, and also like it's one of those things. Like I do genuinely like feel bad that like I've never really hung out with a guy. I've never really like genuinely like thanked him for like essentially looking after all of our funds for like the last. He looked after him for a solid like 15 years
at least. Yeah.
And then like he was good about like I think he just followed my dad's rules, which was like we weren't allowed to use it for almost anything except for like a car or a house. He was like, it better be like legitimately justifiable. And then he also set the standard of like they're not allowed to just take out of it, like, flat out. You're only allowed to match them. So, like, he forced us, he was like, you know, essentially he's like, yeah, I'll help you out, but only what you are willing to do for yourself, too.
That's valid.
And then, he didn't expect me to be like, all right, bet. And then, I saved up $4,000 for my first car. He was like, what the fuck? All right, I guess, I Scout's honor, I fucking told you. So I put $8,000 down on my first car.
Them's the rules.
Also, I was like,
was that the Dodge?
The Avenger.
Hell yeah!
It was the Avenger. I put $8,000 down on the Avenger. It was a fucking $20,000 car.
That was a nice car.
Yeah, I bought like a medium model because I was like, it's the cheap model, but I'm still gonna like put like a giant chunk down because I wanted the payment to be ridiculously cheap. Because I was I'm in high school. I want to be able to like. Sorry, I was not in high school. I was like, I just got out. Like, I was like...
Dude, even then, that's a cool car for, like, an 18, 19-year-old. But I was going to be like, holy shit, you're in high school?
What was I? Yeah, well, like, here's the thing. Is like, I turned 18 for senior year. Because I had the January birthday. Yeah. So they forced me to start late.
Yeah, you were the opposite of me.
Yeah, so, like, I was 18 my senior year. In the, January. So the whole, like, last half of my year, I was 18. Yeah. So, like, I was, like... Yeah, I would have been 19, like, fucking 6 months after I graduated.
God, dude,
Like, it's fucking weird.
I wasn't an adult when I graduated. Yeah. I turned 18 a month and a half after I graduated.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people do. That's kind of what it somewhat is.
Well, it was even worse down south because we get out in May.
Oh, wow, yeah. Yeah, we got out... Well, seniors got out in late May. They got out like 2 weeks early.
Seniors where I grew up, because it gets so much hotter in the summer, and the summer starts earlier until now.
Yeah.
We would get out... Everyone would get out like late May, depending on the school system, and then seniors would get out like I want to say it was like May. It was the first week of May, sometimes the second week of May.
Yeah.
And like I would have been a fucking 17-year-old for 2 more months.
I think we got out like the third week of May, and then everyone else got out like the second week of June. Yeah. So it was like 2 to 3 weeks ish.
I want to say we got out the 3rd or 4th week of May, and then our graduation ceremony was June 4th.
I don't remember any of those details, but like
I only remember the date. Because I was like, oh, that's 1 month before July 4th. And then my parents were like, hey, we're moving to Kansas. You coming with? And I was like, I applied for college up here. What are you talking about? I have a job. When are you leaving? And they're like, oh, in like 2 weeks. And I was like, I have a job and a girlfriend.
Yeah, long term at that point.
I should have gone down there.
But then we wouldn't have met. And we wouldn't be 11 episodes from episode 200.
I have ideas for 200, by the way.
Okay. Well, I was going to say, we're going to have to talk about that. Because, I brought that up to him. Like, I was typing in the save file for the audio on Cubase here. And I was like, oh, shit. We're fucking close.
An idea.
And we've been so busy. I forgot.
If we go with my idea.
Yeah.
I want right here to be clipped out of this episode. And put in right before we do my idea. If we do my idea. But we have 11 weeks. Well, 10. If we do my idea, we have 10 weeks to do it. Which still seems...
Well, that's if we still
short.
only do a week at a time.
Well, we're recording. But we have 10 weeks until. We might do 2 episodes 1 week. 1 episode 1 week.
And then we'll just have a long extra week or whatever. We can do that.
I'll tell you after.
We'll figure it out, yeah. But either way, enough the deep nonsense. Thank you guys for watching. We love you guys. We're very thankful.
What does it say?
I don't know. Yeah. Oh, it says Hawkins Middle School AV Club.
Oh shit! It's a Stranger Things shirt.
That makes sense. I was gonna say, it's like, I recognize the Hawkins thing. I
Dude,
think
that
it's
was $20.
Yeah, that's the 11 shit that she does all over. Like, what? But like,
Anyways, bye.
bye guys.